my name is Sarah, and today I'm going to be doing the Newbie Booktuber Tag. I know this isn't my first video on my channel, but as I roll out of my 100-day 100-book challenge, I saw this as a really good opportunity to pivot my channel from specifically that challenge into more general content making, and therefore give a more general introduction to myself as a reader and as a booktuber. So I'm going to kick it off real quick with the first question, which is, why did I start this channel? I started this channel originally for the 100-day 100-book challenge, but now as I finished up that challenge, I realized that I really enjoyed making the videos. It was a really cool way to express myself and to talk about books. And so I feel like I'm going to continue doing this channel because I want to talk about books with other people that enjoy them, and I wanted to be able to try myself out at doing something that is creative. Number 2, what are some fun and unique things that you think you can bring to Booktube? I think one of the biggest things that I can bring to Booktube is just the huge breadth of media that I consume. I love reading a ton of different genres of books. I read just about anything as long as it's good. I'm hoping to bring all of those elements together into fun and interesting Booktube videos. Number 3, what am I most excited about for this channel? The thing I'm most excited about for this channel is A, hopefully getting to meet other people who like talking about books and talk about books. And B, I'm hoping that this gives me an opportunity to really express myself creatively and push myself out of my comfort zone and try something a little bit new. That way I can hopefully get more out of my books, read more different diverse books, and really have something that I'm proud of at the end of the day. Number 4 is, why do you love reading? I love reading because it is an opportunity to have basically boundless storytelling. I love stories. I've grown up loving stories. I enjoy watching movies. I enjoy watching TV shows because I like the stories in them. But the thing that's really special to me about reading and about books is that because the production costs are so much lower than like TVs and movies and stuff like that, you have so much more of a diversity of material available, and you can have a lot more niche reading. So you have this opportunity to have so many different places and go into the heads of so many different characters. And besides that, writing has been around for such a large period of time that you have this huge amount of content, of material to go through. I can read the accounts and the thoughts and the creative places that people for thousands of years have been thinking about. And how cool is that? What book got you into reading? So I wouldn't say that there's a particular book. I've been reading for the vast majority of my life. Both my mother's mother and my father's mother were English teachers, and so between my parents and my grandparents, I've been around books and had books read to me and been reading books for basically as soon as I could read. I think the book that transitioned me from reading with my parents to reading more on my own was the Chronicle of Narnia series. I do have really fond memories of sitting on my parents' bed with me and my brother and my mom and my dad and us reading that series, and then transitioning into reading that series on my own. Number 6, what questions do you have for your favorite booktubers? I guess my biggest question is all around editing and production. As I did my 100-day 100-book challenge, I realized that it is not as easy as it looks to make a YouTube video. And it's difficult making something that looks beautiful. And so my biggest question probably to those booktubers out there that just have these beautiful backgrounds, have these beautiful videos, how do you do it? Number 7, what challenges in starting a booktube channel do you think will be the hardest to overcome? I think related back to my question to my favorite booktubers is, how do I get my production value better? I think for me I'm not super trained in a lot of the editing software and just like general like putting stuff together. I realize it's not that hard, but for me it's just like not super natural and something that I will probably have to overcome. I think my secondary concern is how to get myself out of my shell enough to really get the full value out of joining Booktube. Number 8 is, when did you start reading? As I talked about in question 5, I've been reading for the majority of my life. I've been super blessed with parents and grandparents that have been really supportive of my love of reading. And I was a really strong reader, I would say through maybe middle of high school. I was such a huge fan of all like the very trashy YA novels that all came out in like the late aughts, early 2010s. As a secondary answer to the question, I really got back into reading as an adult. In April of 2019, I, for whatever reason, stumbled upon like a Twilight meme, and that was like, ooh, now I want to go watch, the Twilight movies for like nostalgia. And then after I watched the movies, I'm like, I want to go read like all the trashy YA novels that I read as a 14-year-old. And that just got me down this like rabbit hole of reading more and reading different stuff. And here I am today with a Booktube channel. Number 9, where do you read? I read really all over my apartment. I read at this desk, I read at the couch, I read on my bed. Before the pandemic, I would read on my way to work, I would read during my lunch breaks, I would read pretty much anywhere and everywhere. Because of having the Kindle Unlimited app on my phone, I am able to be super mobile with my reading, and because I can walk and read, I get a lot in. During the challenge, I got really into audiobooks, and so now I also read while I'm driving in the car via audiobooks, and while I'm working out and while I'm riding my horse. So now I'm able to get even more reading in, and that is wonderful. And number 10, what kind of books do you read? I'll read pretty much anything as long as it's good. I read a lot of especially sci-fi and fantasy, specifically dystopian novels. I can make a video later on talking about why I love dystopian novels so much, but to keep it simple, just know I really like dystopian novels. I also really love mythology, specifically anything like Greek mythology. I will gobble it up. Since watching more Booktube channels, I've also been exposed to mythologies from a wider range of cultures, and I am enjoying them just as much. I read a decent amount of kind of classics across different genres. For a while, The Bell Jar was my favorite book, and so you'll see that. And I really enjoy a lot of nonfiction books, specifically around income inequality and all that jazz, so you'll see a decent amount of those. So really it runs the gambit. During my 100-day 100-book challenge, I actually got into graphic novels as well, so that's something that I hope to incorporate more and more in the future, because I realize they are awesome ways to tell stories. I've been really missing out on not reading them, and so I'm trying to incorporate more of those. So if you have any book recommendations, please feel free to comment down below. I'm always looking for more. I'm really excited to talk to other people about books, about why they love books, about what pieces of books they love and hate and all that jazz. And I'm really looking forward to making videos and sharing it with you all. Either way, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it.